The main thrust of our work with Midwest Permaculture is to bring educational opportunities to our area. When Becky and I became interested in permaculture about 10 years ago, there was hardly anything going on in the Midwest in terms of certainly permaculture design courses or any other significant trainings. But even just workshops or people talking about it just wasn't really heard of. And so it was quite a chore for us to get our own education. We were either going out west or out east or inviting people in. And finally, we just decided that it just felt like something we could do that would be of service would be to create an educational business that provided a lot of these trainings. So Midwest Permaculture is only 5 years old now, so it's still relatively in its early years. But one thing we can say is it's been really gratifying to see how, as we stay with this year after year, how the interest continues to grow and the variety of students that we're attracting to permaculture, or that are naturally maybe attracted to permaculture. Everything from young people as young as 14, 15, and 16 are taking our design courses, but more surprisingly, many people in their 60s and 70s have taken design courses. People with very little education have taken them. People with lots of education have taken our design courses. And it always freaks me out a little bit when I look at the students who are coming in and read their bios, and you see students who are brand new, they've never even planted a seed before. We had one student who said he can only identify 3 plants in his yard, tree, bush, and grass. All the way up at that same course, we had a gentleman who was an ecological landscape architect and installer, and he knew just about every plant and everything you would want to do. Both of them came away with a deeper look at whatever it is that's up next for them in terms of their understanding of the entire system. Permaculture is just this brilliant way that Bill Mollison looked at the world and just said, starting from this ethic of care of people and care of planet, and then figuring out a way to equitably distribute the surplus. From that premise, you really can create and build just about anything that will provide a future for us as a species on this planet. So anyway, it's just permaculture turned Becky and I on. We actually read a Permaculture Activist magazine maybe 15 years ago, and Becky read an article about a woman who realized that every leaf and stick and branch on her property was actually carbon that her plant or her property had harvested. And she was thinking that's all should be made into soil. So she made a pact with herself that no carbon leaves her yard. Becky decided that's what we were going to do for our yard. And for the last 15 years, nothing has left our yard. As a matter of fact, we let our neighbors know that they want to bring any branches or limbs or leaves or grass over to our house. We're happy to accept it. So our property, we've gone from a very plain, a few trees and lots of grass, plain yard, into what's starting to look like a permaculture mecca. We have rain gardens and water tanks, hugelkultur beds, raised beds, berms, a variety of different kind of planting regimes. And I think we had, when we started, maybe 4 or 5 edible plants in our yard, and now we probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 or 70 varieties of plants growing in our yard. There are pictures on our website that show some of the progress and some of the changes that we've made. So educationally, that has been our work, has been offering PDC courses. And over the years, we realized for every person who has the time to invest, time or money to invest in a permaculture design certificate course, there's probably 100 or 200 people that could really benefit from a weekend training or hands-on training or even just a half-day workshop. So we've developed those as well. Last year, we delivered, or this year, we'll deliver, I think, 8 design courses and then 3 or 4 weekend trainings and a bunch of, a whole smattering of half-day, all-day workshops. But we had a student who was an administrator for the Sivananda Ashram Yoga Farm in Grass Valley, and she took our training. She came to Illinois to take that training, and she walked away just kind of convinced or a changed person. And she said, I know there are permaculturists in California, but I really would love to have you come and share permaculture the way you see it. There's a lot of great teachers all over the United States, but you know how sometimes different students resonate to different teachers. So Vidya really, we created quite a connection. So we're going out there this year for the 4th year. And every time we go out there, we design another aspect of the farm, and we have a little time that we implement it. So I think the big thing coming up for us is some of the relationships we're building. We're really excited to team up with the folks at CalEarth and to see what kind of a permaculture design we can come up for their property. And then I think over the years, it'll be even a richer place for people to go and do trainings. We hope to go back to CalEarth as well. But most of the trainings we do are in the Midwest, and these are the last trainings we'll do this year, and Becky and I are working on posting our trainings for next year too, so we should have those up. Our next course here in Stell will be in the winter, the very end of January and the first part of February, and we'll have that posted soon too. So those are the trainings that we're into, and that really is that's the bulk of our work, is creating these educational opportunities and lining up teachers with students and making this wonderful information available. But other projects we're working on is just working with a few other sites. There's a farm up in Wisconsin, Door County, we're working with. There's a farmer with a sandy lot on a very poor piece of soil in Illinois, but he's got big visions, and we're working with him on trying to assist him in coming up with a farm plan on his 3 acres. And then other residential properties we're working on, and not to mention our own. Our own property is a 1/5 of an acre, but in our community of Stell, we have a 7-acre parcel of land. That's a piece of land that our community shares, and we're starting to implement a permaculture design on that. So we have a pond down there, we have an orchard already, we have a community garden, and then we're putting in some hugelkultur beds and some swales and doing some sheet mulching down there too. So we've got a lot going on besides these trainings.